Good morning, my people. Happy rainy Tuesday. Hey, this Tuesday morning, as all of us come up for house, now rain follow us, especially all those people that where they live for island. Hey, welele. Everybody, in fact, motor don't turn to boat this morning. Anyway, you know, say na Tuesday morning, and we for Jasiri, we don't land with better energy. Forget what you do outside. Concentrate on your television. Don't look anywhere. Okay? Focus. Focus. I say Monday wahala don't pass, so today na fresh chance to take shake table. Make we ask those hard questions where they always they dodge for other places, and make we find answer where go move us go forward. For Jasiri, we know they fear anybody. We they talk am as he be. We go talk am with clarity of mind, sharpness, and we not go filter am. From politics to society, from the things where they touch our pocket to the ones where they touch our hearts. Now here we they sit down, gidigba, break everything down. So now make you open your mind, because Tuesday for Jasiri, not be play. Now fearless voices, they meet fearless questions for here. Today, you get one important gist where we go put our mouth for. Nigeria done the dodger for a long time. In fact, for a long time, when you talk menstrual health, it go be like say men they put cotton wool for ear first. As you say, when you say menstrual, many people don't associate that with dirtiness, and no be so. And for too long, millions of our girls don't they face silence. In fact, they stigmatize themselves, and wahala they thief their dignity, and even keep them, make them not even feel go school because of this thing when I mentioned. But now, change don't day. We don't they talk about time, and everybody don't they put mouth. So no waka go anywhere. For Jasiri today, where they watch, we go give you bold, honest. This one long, but you can't say. But correct information that you go hear. My sister, talk knuckle, when she recite his God, they look and say, Tolu that they grow wings. I'm talented now. She doesn't speak pidgin. How did she even try speak hard Yoruba? You know, say, say, buy happy. But you knew what I meant. Honestly, this is a talented table. Yes, and our director of program, you can't just collect your flower.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for that. I cannot follow Lola up. I don't speak. My picture is foul. It's horrible. But you know what we like to do. First, we set you up. And our very, very, very first conversation is a very, very, very big set of congratulations.
Yes.
To the one, to the only, Hilda Baci. You know what? Hilda is a true Jasiri woman. She is bold. She's fearless. Yes. She's unapologetic about what she does. And now she has once again made her way back into the record books. Now, Baci is now the Guinness World Record holder for cooking the largest serving of Nigerian-style jollof rice ever. Yes. In fact, there is a brand new record. This is a record because no one else has ever attempted what she did. So Guinness said they liked the plan and that she should go ahead. So, because a lot of people just assume she just wakes up and does these things. There's a lot of planning. When I was reading all the details and I was watching the Guinness guy speak to her and her partners at Gino, I was like, wow, there's a lot. So they set her a minimum of 4,700 kilograms. They also defined the record and the style of rice. It was very specific to her using parboiled rice, tomato paste, tomatoes, onions, salt, and spices. It had to be a Nigerian-style jollof. You know, there's contention about who really owns jollof. So this is Nigerian-style, don't forget that. Anyway, Guinness had to pre-approve the recipe, and the rice had to be at least 80% of the total weight of the cooking pot. The rice also had to taste and look like a normal serving of jollof. They had another very famous Lagos chef who was on hand to verify that it was, in fact, Nigerian-style jollof. Yes. They're grading her marks. Anyway, the dish, of course, had to be measured. Now, GWR noted that they don't like food being wasted, and they needed to see how the food was distributed, and Baci also provided evidence of that. So we'll tell you about the numbers. Baci cooked 8,780 kilograms of jollof. Let's watch the moment she heard that she had set yet another world record.
That's right. So, with a total of 8,780 kilograms. Hilda Baci and Gino, you are the Guinness World Records title holders for the largest serving of Nigerian-style jollof rice. Congratulations. You are officially amazing. I love the expression on your faces, although it's so far away. It's brilliant. There you go. You two, most people think, oh, come along, we will do a world record, but this fits the world, this is fantastic. It's absolutely brilliant to watch you guys work so hard. Not just you, but the whole team. The whole team worked very, very hard.
Yes. And I was saying to Hilda that, the great news is that now she's a 2-time Guinness World Record holder.
There you go.
This is great. Hilda, congratulations.
I cry too much. This is such a proud moment.
It is.
Catherine, read my own. I'm too emotional. It's just a lot.
Okay. So let's ask the question, what was used to set the record? In case you didn't know, Hilda used over 600 cartons of tomato paste, over 200 cartons of seasoning cubes, 300 kilograms of onions, garlic, and ginger blend, and 164 kilograms of fresh goat meat, 612 kilograms of oil, 600 kilograms of her own jollof pepper mix, plus spices, all poured into a custom-made pot that can hold 23,000 liters. She used 1,200 kilograms of gas as well, in case you forgot. So her strategy called for about 5,278 kilograms of basmati rice, 264 bags, but she rounded it down to 250 as part of her plan. So in the end, she cooked 200 bags, amounting to 4,000 kilograms of raw rice, enough to feed 20,000 people. She explained that the adjustment was necessary because the weighing crane and scale had a limit of 20,000 kilograms, including the pot itself. She was assisted by 10 other chefs wielding long wooden spoons to stir the food. Manufacturing the giant steel vessel to hold her dish, that took a team of 300 people 2 months to make. So this massive pot buckled twice during its weighing, but held up to get Hilda the world record. The custom-made pot had a capacity of 22,619 liters, and Hilda Baci won a competition for her version of jollof rice in 2021, and then became a national sensation in 2023 when she claimed the World Cooking Marathon record, an exhausting 93 hours and 11 minutes. That record has been surpassed.
Wow, 9 hours of fire, passion, and teamwork created the 16,600 plates of rice that Baci says, and I quote, served with joy, love, and community. The spectacle drew massive crowds, supporters, celebrities, and food lovers who gathered. We were there too. Yes, News Central was there to witness the history in the making. And then came the seal of confirmation. On Monday, September 15, Guinness World Records took to X to announce and tweeted, new record, largest serving of Nigerian-style jollof rice, 8,780 kilograms, something, achieved by Hilda Baci and Gino in Victoria Island, Lagos, Nigeria. You see, women are doing it. We are doing it.
We don't have reactions to this.
No.
Because I personally think our own reactions are enough. One. But the team says they have reactions. I just wanted us to celebrate her reaction or no.
I would really like to hear what Nigerians. I wouldn't
what do you want Nigerians to say?
Because what are you supposed to say?
Nonsense.
Hold on.
What nonsense?
You didn't see? People came out saying all sorts of things. Oh, the rice was half done. It wasn't sweet. She didn't put chicken on it. So Tolu, I was depressed. I was like, who used omorogun to hit our head? Who used some plank to hit something on Nigerian people's head?
I somehow did not see it. Let's go to reactions now.
Oh, they were there.
It was everywhere.
Really?
Oh,
I swear.
it was everywhere.
Why are we badly behaved?
Everybody's.
This is Peter Obi. Let me again congratulate Hilda Baci on her extraordinary Guinness World Record for preparing the largest serving of Nigerian-style jollof rice. We know how much. This is a powerful symbol of what our people can achieve when passion, hard work, and opportunity are united. It reflects the limitless potential that resides in our youth. The Nigerian youth remain very talented with skills that can break world records. If we invest in them, support them, and open doors of opportunities, there is no limit to what our nation can become. May this be one among many more records to come. A new Nigeria is possible, Peter Obi. Who else do we have? Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, congratulations to Hilda Baci and Gino for setting a new world record with the largest serving of Nigerian-style jollof rice. It is yet another reminder that our people can break records, set standards, and inspire the world.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. A very proud moment.
No.
You need to respect her. She's a focused executor. Has shown it time and time again. Major respect. Absolutely.
Honestly, major respect.
Will never not be impressed by this. So happy to have witnessed it. And this is actually the chef that Guinness got to verify. It was Chef Imotada. Yes. A new world record. Another proof that if you just do something ordinary in an extraordinary way, you get recognized in a way no one else has ever been recognized before. Congratulations to Hilda and her team.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
Congratulations, Hilda Baci, putting us on the news again for the right reasons, making us proud. Let's see if we have one more. All right.
No.
So,
sorry. I think
breaking another record.
I think this is what everybody needs. I mean, you need to be inspired. Pick the side of the divide you want to be in. Do you want to be one of the naysayers, or do you want to just be positive and pick up your life and keep it moving, no matter what it is? For the Nigerian youth, it is true, all the reactions we've seen, the Nigerian youth is immensely talented, but we need to decide to chart our talent with the direction that we know will favor us.
When I saw the aftermath of it, and I saw, I could see that a lot of our youths, they might have skills, they might have money, they might have social media presence, but a lot of them are still dead inside.
And I think there's a lack of follow-through.
There's a lack of, when you have no purpose.
Follows through.
She follows this, what Hilda has done.
Did you see the measure? Did you see the numbers?
I appreciate the fact that she thinks something and she puts her mind to it.
Absolutely.
A lot of people just think that once a woman is beautiful, you come empty.
So I was going to talk about this. I was going to talk about this because I think some of the backlash with Hilda Baci in particular comes with how she looks. And there's a perception that comes with how she looks. And I love the fact that not once, but now twice, she's telling you, if you're underestimating me, you're underestimating me at your own peril.
Yeah.
Hilda,
a lot of our youth should concentrate on purpose.
I've asked about her business. I've heard about her business, how business-oriented she is.
Yes.
No, I've already reached out. No, she must be on this Jasiri table.
I will drag her.
She must be on this Jasiri table.
She'll start the show.
Because I love what she's doing. And again, because we see the finished product, we see the attempt. We don't see everything that happens before. Guinness had to approve the recipe. Guinness told her, we're giving you 4,700. She took the initiative to go to almost 9,000. Because when you set a record, you try to put some space so it's more difficult for the next person. The next person who's going to do this, if they're going to try, is like 10,000.
Yes. So
don't underestimate her.
Tolu, is the power of good community. A lot of our youths they are treading solo grounds these days. Everybody wants to
They think they're an island.
They want to be. But did you see her community of friends?
Yes.
The Enioluwas, the Tomike,
you need to be
there.
Let me say something to somebody who will say, oh no, they're just influencers, they're out for themselves. No. These are people that we know she's friends with because of how we see them on social media. You can see that there's a genuine, a true friendship. And they go out and see that whole circle that supports themselves. I hope that people get to experience that.
All you need
having
to do
a friendship circle that's tight, that has you.
All you need to do in life is
breaking
take a chance.
So you just support.
I've been trying to think of the record for Jasiri to break. You people should send ideas. Jasiri wants to break a world record or set a world record. You're looking at, see, the way we'll surprise you guys in 2026.
I'm telling you, this 2026, we need to start working.
We need to, Let's think about. We'll put heads together.
I love it. You see how we have moved.
Longest talk show in the world.
So I don't understand how people can say that and not be inspired.
And then when I saw haters, I was
longest talk show in the world.
What is wrong with Nigeria held by women?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's take a break now. Okay, let's go into the meaty matter that we have lined up for you today on Jasiri. Nigeria has just adopted its first ever menstrual health policy. That's a bold step to protect dignity and break stigma and keep girls in school as well. But what does this policy really mean in practice and in reality? After the break, we'll be joined by menstrual health advocate and journalist Funke Treasure to unpack it all. Stay tuned and be inspired. You're on Jasiri.
A big move just happened in Nigeria, and somehow it almost slipped under the radar. Now, for the first time ever, Nigeria has adopted a nationwide menstrual health and hygiene management policy. This is not just policy talk. It's a historic step towards ending period poverty and restoring dignity to millions of women and girls. But here's the hard truth. About 37 million Nigerian women and girls face period poverty. 1 in 4 have no access to safe menstrual products, clean water, or proper sanitation. Nearly a quarter of adolescent girls have missed school because of their periods in some areas. That's up to 5 days every month. And the most shocking, 25% of women and girls are forced to use unsafe alternatives like rags or paper. I've even heard leaves because sanitary pads are simply unaffordable. These numbers aren't just statistics. They're the daily reality of millions. But with this new policy, there finally seems to be a glimmer of hope. Joining us today to break down what this could really mean is Funke Treasure, award-winning journalist, author, social entrepreneur, and a fierce advocate for menstrual health. She founded the Sanitary Pad Media Campaign to provide free pads to girls in need and hosts My Period Stories, a show amplifying voices around menstruation. Funke, welcome back to Jasiri. Yes. At this point, we might just keep a permanent chair for you because we're having you. Thank you so much. The conversations I have with Funke at times, how do we translate that other conversation into, we need to talk about it, we need to bring it on the table.
We need to
bring it on the table. I will tell you about it later.
Wow.
Whatever, I know her now too.
Anyway, this is such an important moment. Stigma is one of the biggest barriers to even having conversations around menstruation. I know that there are still men who cringe at the mention of it.
Even women.
I can't even lie. I was raised to feel it's something dirty. In fact, when you want to buy a pad, you have to hold it in a nylon and hide it under your dress. Like it's something. And I know you have been working in this space for a number of years. Let's start by laying the foundation of why this policy is really necessary. What are, some of the beliefs and myths that surround menstrual hygiene and everything that actually, that calls for this policy to be made?
Well, thank you, ladies, for bringing me here. Bold, courageous. This is what Jasiri is about. So I'm glad to be here. There are many myths surrounding menstruation. I was going to say period poverty. One of which is that it is dirty. Another is, there are in ancient times actually, there are powers ascribed to menstruation and women when they are having their menstruations. But you see, this policy, it's a big step, and I applaud, really. I applaud the Minister of Women Affairs, the present one, because she's shown that she has the pulse of women, of the people. She feels the pulse, and she's done something really remarkable. As I said during my advocacy on A Place at the Table, the first to do this was Kenya, and then we had India, and then we had maybe in not exactly after Kenya, but then we had Scotland. Scotland's policy went viral because it was really, really well thought out. And then we have Nigeria coming up with a comprehensive menstrual health policy. It's kudos to the Minister for Women Affairs. So what this means is that we've taken the issue of menstruation from the private sphere to the public sphere.
Yep.
It has ascended, you know. Before it was counterculture. Now it is in popular culture. So there is a movement there, which is great for us because this has been global. This movement has been global, and for Nigeria to catch up with it, with this policy, it's a significant move. It's a great one. What we're looking forward to is the implementation.
That's the word.
Okay, so for me, one of the issues that worry me is the number of girls who have to skip school or stay at home because of periods. And according to UNICEF, I think it's about 24% of adolescent girls in Nigeria.
1 in 10 in Africa.
There you go. So 1 in 10 in Africa miss school because of the period. So if we are to connect the dots, you know, around this and say, okay, what can we do? How do we navigate this? Why is this an issue that should be addressed in national policy?
It is a big issue. I tell you that because I work on the field. I'm not just talking. I'm not only, because it's not a just. Yeah. I'm not only amplifying through programs, I'm also very much on the field. And I'm in 13 states collaboratively. But in Lagos, in Ibadan, in Ondo, we're on the field. I will tell you that indeed, girls don't want to go to school when
they are on the period.
They're on the periods. It fuels school absenteeism for our girl, for the girl child.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have the appropriate material to manage that flow, you don't want to be the girl that's constantly getting stained in school.
Yeah.
So they'd rather stay at home and wait for it to finish before going back to school. And why would they stay at home? Why don't they have? Because look at the prices of menstrual products now. When I started this project in 2020, we were talking about 400 naira per pack. How much is it now?
It's over
1,000. Of course,
it's over 1,000.
It's over 1,000.
And even a pack does not do a lot of people.
You have to have two packs. Two packs.
Yes,
At least.
I agree.
2 packs on the average.
Yep.
Yeah.
And for those who have heavy bleeding, and girls also have heavy bleeding. Young girls also have heavy bleeding. They do. So they're needing more. So at the end of the day, what we found out, because when we started we started with disposables. Yeah. But we had to pivot to reusable. Because it kept getting
skyrocketing the price. Yeah.
And then we realized that at the height of that increase in prices, people were pivoting back to cloths.
Yeah.
So would we rather have them cut out their wrappers and use to maintain their periods, or would you give them a well-manufactured, reusable pad that they can wash with different pieces inside it, that they can wash is hygienic, they're not going to be afraid of sun drying outside, you know, so we pivoted to that. And we're glad that, you know, it's working. It's working.
I want to go back to the policy. We'll be doing in and out in terms of the policy and the reality on the ground. But how does this policy, how is it possible that this policy can change some deep-seated cultural beliefs and myths about menstruation so that behavior changes? We're not just having a policy document. At implementation, we're doing all this work, but until you change the beliefs that people have or the way that people speak about it, it can also be difficult for true change to happen. Does the policy have any way of addressing those?
Well, I wasn't part of the summit where they put this policy together. I've been checking online to see whether it's been uploaded. Yes. Maybe not yet. I don't know if any of you have seen it.
Even as of yesterday, I had not been able to find it.
So I have not found it as well. Hopefully, they will upload so we can have more engagement about the policy, because it works better for them as creators of this policy when people can engage, you know, positively or negatively with it. It works, whether positive or negative. But will it change? Will it get activate behavioral change? Yes. We're talking about it already. In the past, you couldn't even talk about it. We talked in whispers. We whispered about what we were going through, but now we can have a conversation on traditional media about it. That is change already. And so again, the conditions, period-based conditions that women go through, they're gaining popularity in terms of engagements and discussions also. People can talk about endometriosis, people can talk about fibroids, people can talk about dysmenorrhea, and people can talk about PCOS, which is even very, very common, even amongst school children, as we found out. So in the policy is helping us to have these kind of conversations. So that is behavioral change, and is helping our men to listen as well, to begin to understand that that boss in the office is not being cranky because she's just mean. We have hormonal changes,
flows and fluctuations.
Oh my goodness. So instead of castigating the women in your lives, whether your wife, whether at home or in the office, what you need to do is understand what's going on. And because there's been this secrecy for a long time, what this policy is going to do is that it's creating awareness. It's letting men say, oh, is that serious that they have a policy? Okay. So what is this about?
That they don't think it's enough.
Let's hope that. We need to go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll pick up the conversation about policy change and, of course, Nigeria's new menstrual health and hygiene management policy. Stay with us.
So this is historic. Nigeria has officially validated its first ever nationwide menstrual health policy, and the blueprint goes beyond sanitary products. It includes sanitation, infrastructure, education, stigma reduction, support for the rural and displaced communities, and even remove tax burdens for sanitary towels. So by 2030, the promise is bold: dignity, education, and equality for every woman and every girl. No more shame, no more missing school. But will the policy actually reach those who need it most? Funke Treasure is our guest. She's journalist and menstrual health advocate. All right, so Funke, the policy aims to target the vulnerable. People in displaced areas and all of that. And the low incomes as well. What do we expect? I mean, while we're saying that the policy has not been uploaded yet, so we can't all be party to that party.
The details.
But what do we expect to see and to see in terms of specific measures to make sure people don't get left behind?
Well, I expect that there will be, first of all, this policy is not a legislation, and there's a difference. So it's not binding on everybody. Policies are policies. They're different. When it's a legislation, it's a law. So let's get that clearly. Nevertheless, I'm hoping hoping that this policy will take into consideration the need for pad banks in schools. Because when you have pad banks, and there was a time the former Minister of Women Affairs, Dame, what's her name now? The Dame.
We've had a lot. It's difficult to remember sometimes, but we'll find it.
Yes. So she created a bank at some point. She worked towards that, but we need to have it across Nigeria. So when there are pad banks in schools, girls don't have to now be absent from school because of periods, because there's a bank of it in schools where they can go if it happens in school, or if they see that they're getting things, they have short supplies, they can then go to the school bank and say, I need, and then they give them. So it stops being a headache for them. That would be fantastic. And I look forward to seeing that in that policy. I'm sure it will be there. A second one is the wash part of it, the water and sanitation part of it. I don't know if you've been to toilets in schools.
My sister.
You said?
Oh, wow.
Where?
Maybe you should just Google toilets in schools.
No, you don't want to do that.
Have seen.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's past breakfast time.
it might not be too far away for some people.
You know, so it is appalling.
Absolutely.
So I hope that in this policy, I trust that in that policy there will be provisions for wash facilities in schools, whether private or public, particularly in public schools, so that there are changing spaces for girls. You don't necessarily have to, and water. And this is where I think we should not even leave the policy to government alone. I think the private sector also can come in. What I've always advocated for is that the private sector can also adopt schools and provide wash facilities in schools. I think alumni associations can also adopt schools. You know, all these alumni, this and that, you know, just adopt schools where you can provide toilets.
Just
and
do it
water
as part of your
As part of
CSR.
companies can do that as part of CSR. Alumni associations can also go back to their alumni, back to their schools and provide that. And those of us who have, God has blessed us one way or the other, we can just pass by one school and say, do they have water? Let me go and do a borehole for them there. It will help.
I also think in regards to that, I know government is looking for money and revenue, but I also think government needs to use tax breaks also as a carrot thing. Let corporate institutions get some level or manner of tax breaks for taking part in certain policies. This kind of policy, government is not going to be able to do it by themselves. If you say you give a corporate organization maybe 6 schools in one region and help them to put toilets, water in place, you get a certain, maybe it's a 2% tax break. Do you know how, because even if that money comes in, you need to spend it somewhere. So let's do it for more people, for something important.
I'm even thinking that, when Nigeria sets policies, there's this big talk. Everybody, amplifies it so loudly. Free sanitary products, education, stigma reduction, infrastructure improvements, all these things are great on paper to write down. But where is the funding? Let's even talk about the money. Just as we were discussing, there's no school you want to provide sanitary banks for that you're not going to need money. So where is the funding going to come from? Is it going to be budgeted from like the federal level, since this is a federal policy? At that at the federal level, is it going to get funding? And is the funding going to trickle down? We see it coming down to the very smallest size of government, that's local government. Because that's important.
You literally took that out of my mouth. I was going to say, I talked about implementation, which is where I am waiting. I'm just waiting for this policy to be uploaded for us to see, so that we can see how this implementation will take place. Already I heard that they are asking first ladies.
State first ladies,
State first ladies and commissioners of women affairs
to own
these policies. Okay, that's great, but we need this to trickle down to the local government level. Because local government is no longer cosmetic in Nigeria. This is where you really connect with the people. What will be the role of local government areas or administrations in the implementation of this policy? Because we know that many first ladies are not interested in this.
Are they even empowered necessarily?
They are not constitutionally empowered to be part of governance. So if this is domiciled, as we heard, and there shouldn't be space for speculations. By now, we should have this policy accessible to everybody. So we're still speculating how many weeks after. So, but when you now entrust the policy into the hands of first ladies who are not constitutionally empowered to be part of governance, there's a question mark already on it.
Absolutely.
And if you say commissioners of women affairs or ministries of women affairs at the state level, how will they get past their states? How will they transit?
Who's the arrowhead almost?
Exactly. So if it is the office of the first lady, as we heard, we still have some bottlenecks ahead of us. There. But I would wish and I would want to see that local governments are empowered to take this and run with it. So, nevertheless, I'm also thinking that we should not stop at the level of policies, but that we look at what Baci State has done. I keep talking, I can't stop talking about Baci State. First of all, conservative northern state.
Exactly. I was going to say, you wouldn't expect it to be Baci.
Not expected, but the bill passed through, and it's now with the governor. And I hear that they've even appropriated it in some way, and they're already working on it. It is amazing.
Please let the audience know what bill passed through. Not everybody is up to date.
Okay, so in Baci State, they had a bill that considered having pad banks in schools, having prisons also, and that's another place where people don't really think about that they will make it available. What's it called now? Pads available in prisons. They have a comprehensive policy also, a comprehensive bill on menstrual hygiene management, not just menstrual hygiene, because there's the issue of human rights, there's the issue of dignity. It's not just a hygiene issue. That's what WHO said in 2022. that is a human rights and a dignity issue. It's not just hygiene, which makes it even more all-embracing. So I'm not saying don't use wrapper alone. I'm saying you have a right to dignity. So in prisons, you have a right to menstrual pads. Not because you're incarcerated, then you're treated as less than human. Men don't need it in prisons, but women need it. But are there provisions in the budget of prison?
So I like the fact that earlier you made the comment that there's a difference between policy and legislation.
Yes.
And as I'm looking at this, policy is one thing, but policy cannot it's difficult sometimes for policy to hold people accountable if it's not legislation.
That's right.
So even as we start this, and the legislation is meant to do from 2025 to 2030, that's 5 years. The policy is meant to do 5 years, 2025 to 2030, which I still think is very short for us to do a complete turnaround on this. I think we should be looking at legislation from 2030 on. But I want to ask a quick question on this. You know, when we talk about menstrual health, and hygiene management, we focus a lot on girls. But these same girls oftentimes grow up in situations where it is still denied them as women. And I want us to make that point that yes, we're looking for our girls to be in school, but this issue doesn't only affect our girls. It still affects young women and even older women because of their situation.
I was at Unilag the other day. We were screening one of our podcast episodes, and we were talking about reproductive health and rights as well. And I said to them that when you need to change, 4 hours you change, and so somebody said like,
4 hours?
4 hours change?
How many did I use in a day?
In a day.
When is that expensive? So even university students are also struggling with period poverty. That's what it's called. The inability to be able to purchase, to have to be able to purchase sanitary products. That's period poverty. And being in the university or being in secondary school, or being in primary school does not absolve anybody of it. If you're poor, if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. That's what it is.
Before we go for the break, I want you to touch on something. This funding conversation, I know I think we had a debate, not a debate, but it came up where there's a conversation around condoms being free and removing, two things, removing the tax, the pink tax. Yes. Removing tax on women's products, but specifically in this situation, removing the tax on sanitary products, which is supposed to be part of this policy.
Yes,
I don't know how that's going to happen, but policy. Yes, but the other thing is about making pads free. So condoms have been free in many situations in schools and places for years.
Do you want us to dive into that now?
Maybe let's dive into it very quickly before we go for a break.
Actually, when I started my project in 2019, at that time, the late President Muhammadu Buhari had removed tax.
Yes, it's been done before.
It's been done, but it wasn't implemented. It was just on paper. Nobody implemented it. Oh. So when I saw it in this policy that it's part of it, I went like,
Praise Jesus. But removing tax is one thing. Availability.
Availability.
The pad banks you're talking about. Some people will be saying, why are we going to be spending money to provide pads for free in schools?
The thing, and this is part of what makes it so exciting, the Scotland policy and legislation, that they're providing pads or sanitary products. For people. I have been at Pointer Institute in Florida. It was my first time of walking into a toilet and seeing pads free. Oh, blimey.
Really? Nobody blind me.
It was so sweet. And that's when it hit me that, okay, so this is what it should be. If you have condoms, and this is not a matter of feminism or no feminism. Feminism is about rights of women. It is nothing evil. So if we're saying men, so that you control yourself, use condoms. By the way, they're female condoms.
Yes.
But then let us make pads also free, and let's also make it available in public spaces. It's doable. It's doable.
We've cancelled that. Let's keep going.
Okay, we should go.
It's doable.
When we talk about all this menstrual health, there's so many things that people forget. Poor menstrual hygiene can lead to all sorts of diseases.
Yes.
Women are the ones that embody it.
Yes.
And we're carriers of so many things. I know your advocacy has highlighted things like fibroids. That's we've had a separate conversation on fibroids on this table. It is not for the faint-hearted, trust me. We've talked on, things like endometriosis. Do you think this policy would open up the conversation for us to have broader conversations on reproductive health of women? Now we're seeing, I have seen that PCOS has gone younger.
Dr. Ajayi is coming next week.
It is the most common.
I never knew that
teenagers
that such a thing. Yes. So now we need to have more conversations about what can be the cause, that.
And I tell you, there's a lot of silence around PCOS. They were even talking about fibroids, we're talking about endometriosis or PCOS because it has to do with ability to reproduce as well.
I said Dr. Ajayi is coming next week about PCOS.
Don't even want you to know them. And we had to cover the face of the woman we spoke with on the podcast that I present. There were girls, you even see them on some of our episodes saying that, well, I don't do this all the time. Sometimes in Abuja, where I went to speak at the Big Ideas platform, it was the same thing. The lone student who spoke, who asked the question, you could see that she was dealing with PCOS. It's everywhere. What is PCOS? Irregular periods. We had a guest on one of the episodes also on My Period Stories podcast who said she lost a relationship to endometriosis.
Yes.
Because the guy said he's not sure that she'll be able to have children.
That's why I said many do.
So you see, what men know is, fibroid, will she be able to have children or not? Endometriosis, she can't have children. I'm going. That's all they know.
Yes. But you see, the endo and PCOS have children.
Some of them do when it's well managed.
That's the point.
You see, the first time I met someone with PCOS, I never knew her from Adam. She just sent me WhatsApp messages and said, this is what she's dealing with. Sometimes almost a month, almost a year.
Yeah, she doesn't have periods.
She doesn't have a period. When it comes, it may come for 3 months.
That I'm happy.
Like her period breaks.
Yeah.
3 months it comes, or maybe 2 months, and then it goes forever, and she was going to get married. Okay, so these are conversations that people should have pre-marital, pre-marriage counseling, because you just never know. But because of the stigma attached to PCOS, many women are living with it and they're in silence.
Yeah. So that's why these conversations are necessary, because if people start hearing about the symptoms and we're educating young girls early, they can tell you when the pain is abnormal. Because it's apparently not supposed to be pain or a level of pain that you're not supposed to read with your menstruation. And it's the education. So it's only well managed when it is found when it is identified.
When they're courageous enough
and this
to talk
raises the question that Tolu raised on this paternity thing, that should we begin to test fertility pre-marriage?
I think we should.
There are lots of things causing, and women can check also.
So that's another conversation again, because there are other things causing the dissolution of marriages other than infidelity.
Of course.
Yes.
It's not all about infidelity all the time. If you have somebody who's going through fibroids or who's going through PCOS or endometriosis, these are period conditions, and she's finding it hard to have children. It's not her fault.
Exactly.
It's the way she has been wired.
And there are options.
And there are options. But if we are not talking about it, how would you know the options?
That's why I say watch Jasiri.
When I brought Dr. Abayomi Ajayi to the podcast, the first season he came to talk about PCOS, endometriosis. The second season he came to talk about non-invasive procedure of fibroid. And I know that quite a number of people got in touch with us, saying, how much does it cost? We didn't know this. Would it work? And all of that. I didn't know about it until he came.
And you're the one who brought him to us.
Yes. Okay, so the idea is spread the news.
Yeah.
So while spreading the news, let's look beyond Nigeria. Let's look at other African countries like Cote d'Ivoire, like Kenya, like Niger, who have they've integrated menstrual health into national policy. What lessons can we learn from them?
I think we can learn from Zambia.
When I heard the mother's law?
Yes. They have a menstrual leave.
Menstrual leave.
I could not believe it. I spoke with their former head of HR institute in Zambia, and I was, wow. You mean menstrual leave can work in Africa? Are they not abusing it? Because that's the top.
Is it 2 days a month, right?
Yes.
So 2 or 3 days a month. It's more than one.
First 2 days,
So that's the worry. Well, people abuse it.
They weren't abusing it in Zambia. I said
They're not Nigerians, though.
We are cutting a different cloth.
But let's believe that we will all be upfront and not abuse it.
I think that HR departments can lead the way. We don't have to wait for government for this. You can have a workplace policy that embraces menstrual leave. And about abuse, anything can be abused. Even water can be abused. If you drink it and keep drinking it, you get bloated and all of that. So, but you will know in the office, somebody who has period challenges, you will know. You will know. And then if you ask for certification or medical papers, they will give you. And I don't think our doctors are that bad that they'll start issuing
it out.
fake papers.
notices.
And then again, I know people would say, no, they don't have it in Nigeria. They'll start discriminating against us in the office. If they want to lay off people, you'll be the first target at this one.
Yeah.
There's always going on.
You know, but we have to be humane. We have to be humane. We have to have empathy. People who have period challenges didn't create themselves to have it. And so we need to empathize with people. Private sector
should be leading the way on this.
Across the world, they are the ones doing the best things about menstruation. You see companies with menstrual leave policy, you see, you know. So our people in Nigeria, the private sector in Nigeria can lead the way in, you know, mainstreaming menstrual leave policy. Yes, we have maternity leave. Then we have annual leave.
And now people have paternity leave. We have paternity leave
and
here.
there's paternity leave, so it's not peculiar to women, at least in Lagos, we know that. And now we're asking for menstrual leave. We're not asking for 1 month. We're asking for, you know, the first 3 days. In fact, the first 2 days, you will know that something
It's like a battle for your soul sometimes.
I tell you. Oh my goodness.
It's like a battle for
If
your
it's
soul.
dysmenorrhea, you're there holding your tummy, carrying all kinds of hot water, your bottles and all of that.
I wish we could
Let's quickly toss in Dr. Bayomi Ajayi will be here next week to talk about PCOS.
Look,
next week,
it's
Thursday.
about time somebody addressed PCOS.
I want to say thank you so much, Funke Treasure, for joining us today. But before we wrap up, a huge congratulations from all of us. New Central ahead of to New Central.
No, not to New Central. To Funke.
It's to New Central. You know why?
Yeah.
Because here in New Central, I have done not less than 5 advocacies on menstrual health. On a place at the table.
Okay.
And, you know, I kept using the opportunity to be at the table to push the narrative, to push. So this comes to
New Central.
So Funke is receiving the Voice of Dignity Award in New York this weekend. Congratulations.
Yes, we have a bold, courageous, impactful change maker. Yeah, she's a truly Jasiri woman. So congratulations again. The numbers are staggering, the stigma is real, and the cost to our girls and women has been far too high. For the first time, Nigeria has a roadmap to dignity, but policies don't change lives, implementation does. The question now is simple. Will these policies sit on paper, or will it truly put pads in our hands, water in schools, and dignity in the lives of millions? The clock is ticking to 2030, and Nigeria cannot afford to fail its women and girls. Until next time, stay bold, stay unapologetic, and keep making your story matter.
Yeah.